Well, you remember yesterday I said today's title would be a wife for Isaac. And so we find a wife for Isaac today in chapter 24, beginning at verse 15. It's amazing how much you can find out about characters in the Bible. These are real people, and they have real qualities and real shortcomings. They're sinners just like we are. But we find an awful lot of information about Isaac's wife. Remember yesterday we left off with the servant praying to God and saying, whoever comes out and offers me a drink of water and waters my camels as well, I'll take it from you that, God, you've sent that woman to me and that she is to be the wife of Isaac. Well, as we look at this in chapter 24, verses 15 and 16, we find out that Rebekah comes out with a jug on her shoulders, and we find that she is beautiful. She's a virgin. She's never been with another man. And we find out as we look at verses 18 through 25 that she's kind, generous, hardworking. She fed all of the camels water, and hospitable. As we continue to look through, we find out that she has a family. And family's important, isn't it? After all, they've influenced who we are and what we are. We find out about her family that they too are generous, hospitable, and people of faith. How do we know they're people of faith? How do we know that this family, which has raised Rebekah, will be a good wife for Isaac? And how do we know that this family is a family of faith? Well, let's take a look at just 2 verses. When the servant of Abraham says, will you allow Rebekah to come with me? Take a look at what the response is. Then Laban and Bethuel replied, the matter comes from the Lord, so we cannot speak to you bad or good. Here is Rebekah before you. Take her and go. Let her be the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has spoken. Yes, the servant had heard the whole story, the prayer that the servant had issued up, the actions of Rebekah. And he said, hey, the Lord said it, so be it. It's really quite interesting because as a pastor, many times somebody would come to me and say, the Lord said for me to do such and such. What do you think? And I would say, what difference does it make what I think? If the Lord said it, that's what you're supposed to do. You see, I think that we sometimes think that if the Lord has said it, we go out and look for additional counsel. What we're really saying is either we don't know how to listen, or maybe it wasn't the Lord that spoke. But if the Lord really said it, who are we to say anything different? And that's exactly what this family said. It again exemplifies the faith of this family and their belief that the Lord is in control of all things. It's really interesting as you finish this particular section of Scripture, you find that they have respect for Rebekah and the fact that they don't want to send her immediately, but rather they ask her, are you willing to go? The servant wants to leave right away. Are you willing to go with him? And they value her answer and respect her answer, but she says, yes, I'll go. And then they bless her. They believe God for his promises to Abraham and to Isaac, and they bless her and ask that God's will be done. Read through this section of Scripture all the way through verse 61, and you'll find a wonderful trust of faith, and you'll find a wonderful family that believes that when God says it, that's the way it should be. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.